All right, as somebody that's been around this sport for a long, long time, there's certain people that you just have to respect, okay? Certain fighters that just command your respect. You know, like if you say an Anderson Silva, you got to respect that guy. If you say Matt Hughes, George St. Pierre, you know, these are legendary people that you just have to actually respect, tip your cap and say, yeah, they were some of the best to ever do it. Now, there's two brothers that deserve that same kind of respect as well, and their names are Nick and Nate Diaz. Okay, they've been around the sport forever. They've provided endless action for us, and those crazy motherfuckers will take on anyone, right? Vicente Luque is a guy that a lot of people are trying to avoid, and Nate Diaz is like, whoa, hold on, I'll fight him. Khamzat Chimaev is another one that a lot of people definitely want to give a wide berth to, and Nick Diaz, after being out for so long, puts on Twitter, I'll fight him. As I say, that kind of attitude, never mind what they do inside the octagon, because they bring that every single time, but that kind of I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. I hate saying that because it's so cliched and overplayed, but it's true. People that truly have that kind of attitude, you have to respect. Because a lot of people say that, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. No, they fucking won't. And then they hide behind the manager, or they say the deal wasn't right, or I'm not well, or I need more time. You know, Nick and Nate Diaz, they are cut from that cloth. They will fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I respect that big time. So we're going to get into it. We'll talk about it a little bit. But before I do, I want to tell you about IP Vanish. Listen, if you're online, you need to be aware of your security, your online security. There's a lot of hackers out there. They're trying to get into your social media. They're trying to get into your financial information. And basically, you're at risk anytime you go online. That's why you need to use the services provided by IP Vanish. Yeah, basically, IP Vanish is an app that allows you to safely browse the internet. So listen, you know, when you go online, everything, all your personal details, all your passwords, more importantly, your financial information are all going to be safe. So that's why I recommend IP Vanish. The IP Vanish app allows me to safely browse the internet. As I said, I'm fully encrypted, so I'm protected from the hackers. And I also have unrestricted access to everything on the web. Certain countries don't allow you to view certain things. With IP Vanish, you can just say you're in a different country and away you go. You are off to the races looking at whatever website you want, and also knowing at that moment in time you are not getting hacked. You're welcome. Go to ipvanish.com/Bisping or click the link in the episode description down below. All right, as we know, the UFC's welterweight division is a very competitive one, with Kamaru Usman sitting at the top of the division, on the throne, the number one pound for pound guy, and everyone else below him just itching and clawing, trying to get a shot at the title. Of course, Leon Edwards was supposed to fight Jorge Masvidal recently, or soon, but that fell off. But there's no shortage of stars. I mean, we got Colby Covington, we got Masvidal, as we just said, and we got Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is still around. Also, we've got Vicente Luque. Okay, now remember, if you go back to Madison Square Garden a couple of weeks ago, Vicente Luque was the backup fighter for Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Had one of those not made weight, he would have stepped in. But guess what? They made weight. Vicente Luque, as the backup guy, didn't. He came in at 172 pounds. However, none of that matters because they both made weight, and Kamaru and Colby went and put on a sensational fight. Really, really enjoyed that one. It's just, you know, for Vicente Luque, I appreciate what he did there. He stepped up. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do. You got to shoot your shot. You got to be in a position to accept a title fight if one is offered to you. And being in the role of, you know, that backup fighter, you know, that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, I'm not sure if I could potentially go out there, do a full training camp, go through a weight cut for a fight that might not even happen. Now, I know the UFC, you know, rewards them with compensation financially, but I don't know what amount. I don't know if it's a full fight purse or whatever like that. But still, to make weight is one of the toughest things about being a professional fighter. So for Vicente Luque, he went out there, he tried to do it, and he failed. Could you imagine how pissed off he would have been? Let's just say Colby got COVID. Right, and like, Vicente, you're up, buddy. And then he fucking doesn't even miss weight. And the UFC would be fuming as well, and rightly so. But fortunately, he wasn't needed, okay? But Vicente Luque, as we know, he's won 10 out of his last 11 fights. The man is on an absolute tear. He's a vicious striker. He's got tremendous grappling. Last time we saw him, he went out there against Michael Chiesa. Made short work against Chiesa. Chiesa's a phenomenal grappler, but he ended up choking him out. So, Vicente Luque is a real threat, okay? That's why for guys like Leon Edwards saying they're going to sit out on the sidelines and wait, when you've got someone like Vicente Luque that's willing to roll the dice, that's willing to go in there and be the backup dance partner, if you will. There's always a possibility that somebody like that might jump the ship or jump the queue. Now, there is a potential fight on the docket, shall we say. Nate Diaz, Vicente Luque, sign me the fuck up. I mean, that is a fight I want to see. It's an absolutely huge fight. It all started with Nate Diaz went out there and he put out a tweet, something like, everyone's scared. There's no one here. There's no one here. And then Ali Abdelaziz, who manages Vicente Luque, he came back and was like, hold on, there's Vicente here. So anyway, now apparently them two might be on a collision course. And if you speak to Vicente Luque, he's actually out there telling the media that he's already training for Nate Diaz. So, I mean, we haven't got a date or anything like that, but Vicente says he's training for Nate Diaz. What a fight, right? And I've got to say, you know, for Vicente Luque, he's won 10 out of the last 11. Does he need to fight Nate Diaz? Probably not, you know. But beating Nate Diaz and beating him in style would almost solidify that title fight. Of course, there's other people out there. Khamzat Chimaev, you know, he's going to be fighting Gilbert Burns. They want to go for that. There's a lot of people trying to get that elusive title fight, okay? Leon Edwards is also one of them as well. He says that he's waiting. I don't know how any of this is going to play out. But as a fan, dude, I want to see Nate Diaz and Vicente Luque. Listen, we all know Diaz went out there last time and he kind of got dominated of Leon Edwards, but it just shows how tough he is, because in the last few seconds or the last round or the last minute or so, boom, one right hand, and he actually had Leon wobbled all over the place. Sure, it was a fight that Leon was dominating, but still, Diaz, you know what I mean, he's always dangerous, and he's always got that submission threat as well. I mean, let's go back. Remember that. I remember when he fought Conor McGregor. February 2016, it was the week after I fought Anderson Silva, right? I fought Anderson Silva at the O2 Arena. After that fight, I flew to Rome. I was having a little bit of R&R. I was having a little trip out to Rome. If you've never been to Rome, by the way, fuck me, what a place that is. And I woke up Sunday morning early and I watched the fight. And I remember everyone was asking me when I was fighting Anderson Silva, oh, Conor McGregor is going to be fighting Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is stepping in. I said, there's no chance. There's not a world that exists where Nate Diaz on a week's notice is going to defeat Conor McGregor. And I must have said that to every journalist that asked me. But of course, we know what happened, right? Diaz caught him with that big right hand in the second round and ended up choking him out. That's what you got to love about Diaz, because you can never count him out of anything. So for Vicente Luque, yeah, I favour Vicente Luque, but for crying out loud, as I say, the man's capable of anything. He is an OG, he is a gangster, he's tough as fuck, he can take a punch, he can land a punch, he's a high-level jiu-jitsu black belt, and the man really is the epitome of a fighter. That's what we want to see. You know, that's what we want to see. We want to see the best guys going in there against the best guys, and we want to see guys like Diaz that are really true fighters. Often what you'll see is, you know, too many politics get involved with fighting. Listen, there's a lot of money at stake, so I get it. You know, managers get involved and it all gets kind of complicated. But ultimately, it's fighting. And I want to see a fighter that will just say, I will fight whoever the fuck you say, right? Give me that guy. Or I want the toughest guy. I want the toughest matchup. And that's what you get from Diaz all the time. God bless him. I mean, the man is probably a lightweight, but now he's competing at welterweight because he doesn't give a shit and he wants the biggest fights. He went up against Jorge Masvidal. He went up against Leon Edwards. And now he's talking about going up against Vicente Luque, right? You say whatever you want about Nate Diaz, but you cannot say the man is looking for easy fights, right? And that gets my respect. I don't know about you. Now, another man that also gets my respect, his brother, Nick Diaz. I mean, come on, for crying out loud. Nick and Nate Diaz, two of the biggest gangsters in the sport. We know Nick Diaz recently came back and was unsuccessful against Robbie Lawler. Okay, he'd been out of the octagon for a long time. Nick Diaz got kind of shafted over, by the way, with the whole USADA thing and the weed and the 5-year suspension and all that stuff. Initially, it was a lifetime ban, then it was 5 years and all that shit. But still, he came back recently, fought Robbie Lawler. Didn't look his best, but still, whatever. He was a warrior. Them two went to war. They fucking kicked the shit out of one another until Nick Diaz couldn't get back up. Now, he's calling out fucking Khamzat Chimaev. He's saying, he's got his hand in the air. So his brother Nate is saying, I'll fight Vicente Luque. Nick Diaz is saying, give me Khamzat Chimaev. The guy that everyone's avoiding. right? And I'm not saying they're all shit in their pants, but they're all like, that's not a smart fight to take. Of course, Gilbert Burns is in there as well. Gilbert Burns has got his hand up as well. We're not quite sure. Yeah, so anyway, as I say, Nate Diaz, as we know, well, Nick and Nate, I mean, two of the biggest, I hate saying it, but gangsters, you know, badasses, tough guys, real fighters, true warriors, whichever one of those you want to use. They all fit, you know what I mean? They are proper fighters, you know, they're old school generation, you know, and that's what I like. And maybe it's because I'm older, you know what I mean? Maybe because my generation is almost done. Maybe I look at that through rose-coloured spectacles. But us old guys, fuck that, we were the real deal. Now, Nick and Nate, they're certainly the real deal. As I said, he's going to fight Vicente Luque. Khamzat Chimaev, after destroying Li Jingliang, he wanted a quick turnaround, right? But nobody wanted to fight him, apparently. And then Nick Diaz goes out there, puts his hand up, tweets, I'll fight him. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if the UFC would make that match up. Massive opportunity though for Nick Diaz if he could go out there and beat him. But I'm not sure anyone wants to see Nick in there with Khamzat Chimaev right now. Khamzat, I mean, that's crazy. Just to say that sentence is insane, right? Nick Diaz is one of the most battle-tested fighters that we've got in this sport today. He's been in there with everybody, you know, and for us to say, oh, he shouldn't fight Khamzat is a little disrespectful. The reason we say that, the reason I say that, the reason I think the general consensus would be not to, is because Nick didn't look the best version of himself the last time out. As we know, he came in, he wanted to change the weight class from welterweight to middleweight. He got his own way. He came in. He was a little bit on the chubbier side. But he still put on a hell of a fight. Still put on a hell of a performance. So yeah, never underestimate either one of those guys. But still, there was a potential of Nick Diaz fighting Vicente Luque. I'm here for that. I absolutely love that. And the fact that Nick Diaz threw out his name into the hat to fight Khamzat Chimaev just says, you know, we've got to show our appreciation for the Diaz brothers there, guys, because they're not going to be around forever. You know, they're really not. I don't think Nick has too many fights or years left in him in the octagon. Nate Diaz, you know, he's no spring chicken these days either. So appreciate these people while they're still around, because you're going to miss them when they're gone. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate the support on the channel. Do me a favor, make sure to subscribe down below, ring the bell. I'll be back soon. Take care.